DDM 2024.07 sees a new enhancement to the Inventor interface for the support of iPart family tables. I'm going to begin by creating a simple family table. We're going to use a standard part here, and we are going to sketch on this face, and we're going to just sketch a rectangle like so. Okay, we're going to make this the width attribute. So you note that I'm putting in the label width is 20 millimeters. If I tab, then I can say the height equals 20 millimeters as well. So I've started off with my profile. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude this, and I will extrude it as the length equals 50 millimeters. Okay, so we have our standard part. I'm also going to shell this part out, so that face and that face, and we're going to give it a wall thickness of 2. Let's go for 1.5 millimeters. Okay, so we have our standard part here. Okay, just a piece of square hollow section, and the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to save this back to DDM. If I choose save, we're going to give it a new number, and we're going to call this extrusion square hollow section, and this is going to be this is the master file by 50 millimeters long. Okay, I've got a category for this, SHS, square hollow section. Okay, and I'm going to reserve the part into my chosen project for iParts. Okay, so all we've done here is saved our standard part away. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to convert this into a family table of iParts. So if you go to the Manage tab within Inventor, we can create iParts. Now you'll see in the right-hand window at the top, you can see my parameter names that I've applied. And what you start with is a default here, which is essentially the master file. What I'd like to add in here, I'm going to insert a row, and my first row will be my 20 by 20 option. I'm going to insert some other rows here, and this one will be my 30. So all I'm doing is changing these parameters like so, and that will be my 40 like so. Okay, they're all 1.5 millimeter wall thickness, all length of 50. What I am going to do is I'm just going to call this 40, 30, and 20, like so, so that as I'm saving them, it's easier for me to see. If I verify, make sure everything's okay. What I now have inside Inventor is a table here, which has got my various sizes of square hollow section. In the PDM menu here, we now have a Save iPart Table option. If I choose to save my iPart table, I will start to be prompted for the different sizes. Okay, I'm going to put it into the same here, and this is my master file, correct? And again, we're going to reserve this into our iParts project. The next one is going to be my 20 mil long variant. I think I've done this wrong, but never mind. Okay, and again, reserve to our divider. Okay, this is probably my 30 millimeter long one. Let me just put this in there. I'll tidy the descriptions up in a minute, like so. Okay, and again into here. And the final one will be my 40 millimeter, and I'm going to give them some nice descriptions in a second, like so. I just want to get them created for now. Okay, so we've now created our parts. I'm going to exit here. I'll clear my working folder and let's go back into DDM to see what we've got. Okay, if I open my project here, what I should have is, I've not put them into the right divider. Let me do this. Okay. So what we have in here now is my master options, and I'm just going to copy that description because this one is my 20 by 20 option. So this is the 20 by 20 millimeter by 1.5 wall thickness by 50 long. Okay, happy with that. Copy. Let's make this the 30 like so. This is my 30 by 30. Okay, and then finally the 40 by 40. Okay. 40 by 40. Okay, so we've got the master file, the physical file, and then the master iPart, and then you've got your additional iPart configurations. The file and the master are intrinsically locked together, so the descriptions will always remain the same. If I load the file like this into session, I've lost my navigation. Oh, there we go. In here we've got our various part numbers. If we look inside our iPart table, we see that we now have all of our correct descriptions as well. Now, if you want to add additional family members into here, if I wanted to, for example, add a 50 millimeter, I can insert a row. Okay, I'm going to call this 50 millimeter. Okay, but I want to change and clear this attribute, which is the DDM ELUID. You must clear this when you're adding a new option. This one is going to be my 50 by 50, so I can actually set that in here like this, 50 by 50, and I can also update my description so that here it's 50 by 50 like so. Everything else seems to be correct. I say OK, and if I go back here and save my family table, it will pick up the new one and prompt me to save it into DDM. So it'll cycle through checking all of the others, and this one is my 50 by 50. That's correct. I will drop it into the same category and reserve it to my project, which is going to be in this divider. And my save has been completed. So just to go back and check, if I look in my iParts, I have a new part number for my 50 by 50. Everything's been updated and it has its correct ELUID. If I close this out and I go back into DDM now, if I open my project, let me just drop that into the divider. What we now have is our master there and our instances within that table. If I search for this number 35052, let's search for it in the main interface. If I search all items and I'm looking for 35052, this is the master family file. If I look in the family table tab now in the embedded properties, we see our master instance, our 20, 30, 40 and 50 variation of that as well. So a neat enhancement for Inventor in DDM 2024.07 is the support for iParts.